You already know what time it is. We're doing a trailer reaction to the Spider-Man Brand New Day. So I'm going to make sure I avoid letting the sound go through.
But why?
It's going to be on mute. I apologize in advance because YouTube these days, man, they fool around too much, but it is what it is.
Here we go.
This angle is awesome, by the way.
That's right.
The suit coloring is beautiful.
You ain't lying.
So that means he doesn't have the tech anymore, the Iron Man tech in the suit anymore, right? Or is it still integrated, or is it dead? He hasn't done anything to the AI. He hasn't tried to reboot the AI or custom make the AI. It's just him in the suit. And what material is it made out of? So meaning, if he gets cut, does he stitch it, or is it still nano?
I don't know.
He's only got one of them, right? Or does he print more? Or I don't even know what's going on anymore, man. The bruises though, or the bruise, yeah. Yo, I thought this guy heals fast. Yeah, okay, bruises, one on his thigh there, one on his calf right there, dude. And then maybe there's one on his cheek, his jawline right there. I mean his cheek, upper cheek. See, he's washing the suit, so he's only got one.
Well, duh.
And realistically, if there's something that was going down whilst he's washing the suit, what else does he have for a backup suit in case something did go down?
That's a good question.
Till this day, I've not forgiven Marvel for making that stupid decision to put Doctor Strange in such a incompetent position.
You ain't lying.
I think it's pretty cool to put Punisher in this movie because it's going to bring some different spice to the movie, because I noticed it feels a lot more mature than all the previous Spider-Man movies. Out of all the Tom Holland Spider-Man movies, I only like the first one.
But why?
The second and third one is just noise to me. It's ridiculous, it's pointless, doesn't exist in my psyche. So this would be my second Spider-Man movie, and I hope this is going to be as good as the first one, if not way better than the first one. I don't even want to compare it to the second and third one because it'd be an insult to it as a movie.
Damn.
Damn, that's gotta hurt.
Yeah.
So I've not finished watching the Spider-Man animated series from the 1996, 7? I can't remember what year it came out, but I remember the series where, or the saga where he became Man-Spider. He grew four more arms, I think.
Yes.
I wonder what made Marvel choose to transition him from the web shooters to organic webbing. I don't know why they made that switch. I don't know if it's going to be a temporary thing or a permanent thing, but I remember the cartoon series where he became Man-Spider. I don't know if they're trying to adapt the exact story in the movie or something similar, but he's got to go through some ups and downs where he starts to act awkward, or he can't, maybe he loses his sight, for example, or can't stick to walls. So I hope they don't drag that whole becoming a new version of Spider-Man. I hope it's just subtle with the ups and downs, but I hope they spend more time on the pros rather than the cons.
Shut up and take my money.
Yeah, he's got no web shooters. Then obviously he yanks, something comes out of somewhere. It's obviously organic web shooting from his wrist. But we already had that with Tobey Maguire, so why put him through that whole process as well? It's weird. Does that mean that Andrew Garfield's version of Spider-Man will go through his transformation and end up with organic web shooters as well? I don't know why Marvel chose to make that switch.
Good question.
I wonder whose machine that is, because I know he goes to seek advice from Bruce Banner. So I wonder whose device that is. So that means he's going through some ultimate transformations, super sensitive to sound, light, vibration, texture, smell, everything. Like I can see some humor, I can see where they'll play with that for jokes and humor, but I feel I much prefer they take it more seriously and don't lean towards the more serious side of this whole transformation than the humor. Don't spend too much time on the humor. I'm assuming this is obviously can't remember her name, lady who played Max in Stranger Things. This is supposed to be the Jean character. I don't know. I was going to see this movie eventually, no matter what. My main focus is going to be, already was, on Avengers Doomsday. When this trailer came out, now I thought, okay, especially listening to all the other theories online from Emergency Awesome and New Rockstar and heavy spoilers, I'm like, if you're going to throw in the X-Men introduction for the X-Men, cool. I feel there's something brave that Feige's doing. If this is supposed to be Jean Grey,
That's right.
if Feige is just doing another Elseworld nonsense, in a Spider-Man movie, that's going to piss me off. That's going to be just pointless. But if you're saying this is the first introduction of your new X-Men for the Marvel universe as it is now, and that by introducing Sadie Sink as Jean, that is telling me that you're going to keep the cast young.
No shit.
So I don't know where Hugh Jackman's Wolverine will fit in that X-Men. It doesn't seem like he's going to be part of that X-Men group, because then it's going to be weird. So to cast Sadie Sink for Jean, I'm assuming if the rumors are true, then I have to take it as face value that this is Feige's way of saying, here's the first X-Men character. This is her age. And we're keeping this age across the board for all the other X-Men members. But for Feige to do this, I have to trust that he knows what he's doing. Yes, we could argue, want to get in a new, younger audience to follow the growth of these characters. Cool. But then what scenarios are you going to put them in? Because it's like watching Stranger Things, but in the X-Men. How are you going to depict their powers, their strengths, their weaknesses, especially Cyclops? Like, who have you casted behind closed doors for your new X-Men team? If you're going to show off Sadie Sink as Jean, unless maybe maybe she's just a telepath or someone who can warp minds or something. Maybe she's not really Jean. Maybe the rumors are not true. We got to wait all the way to July to find out. But if it's the case that she's Jean, or this might be an Elseworld thing where she's from a different universe, and if that's the case, that sucks. You can't keep doing this yo-yo multiverse thing when you're not doing it properly. You gotta do it properly. You gotta set it up properly. You can't just yank different characters from here and there just for the sake of it. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm assuming, she must be the one who's doing all this. Yeah, I'm assuming that's her. She's doing the telepath. I wonder whose base that is. There's a lot of tech. Jean never felt like someone who's into gadgets and devices and whatnot. So maybe this is someone else's apartment that she's using, I guess, or she's hiding out here. But if she's doing what she's doing with her telekinesis power or telepathy power, there has to be a reason. But there's no X-Men suit on. She's not wearing a proper costume. Maybe she doesn't want to be obvious, so she's incognito. Cool, but then she was captured. So was she captured because her plan didn't work, or was it part of a plan to be captured as well? I don't know. It's just the interweaving of an X-Men character, if it's true, into a Spider-Man movie. I don't know. I don't know where else I'd have wanted to see her. They could have just easily put her in Avengers Doomsday and do the same thing they did with X-Men Days of Future Past, where you show a different timeline where Sadie and the other young X-Men cast are doing their thing. And then you do way ahead into the future, Doomsday has already occurred. I don't know. I feel it doesn't make sense to me why you'd include Jean Grey in a Spider-Man movie. And I get that Spider-Man has crossed over into the X-Men before, vice versa, from the cartoons to the comics, in whichever way. I get that, but because this is going to be our first introduction to what I assume is going to be a young X-Men cast moving forward. I much prefer if they had gone down the route of X-Men First Class. That was cool. That reboot was cool. I didn't mind that. Having a young Xavier and a young Magneto, that was cool. But now, if you're doing a whole refresh, I don't see Patrick Stewart coming back. I don't see Sir Ian McKellen coming back. I don't see James McAvoy and Michael Fassbender coming back. So that means you got to recast everyone else. And if you've already chosen your Sadie Sink for your Jean, then you're confident in what she's capable of, and you already have an idea of where you want to take these characters to. So if that's the case, then who is going to be our new Xavier and Magneto and Wolverine? That's if they're not using Jackman for their... So much, man. So much questions to ask. That's right. It already pissed me off that they introduced Mysterio in the second movie, and then he gave the glasses to Mysterio. The most stupidest decision you could have ever made. You are mean. Especially after coming back from the snapping and witnessing Tony's death. It did not make any logical sense to me whatsoever that you would hand these powerful glasses to this complete stranger just because it's from Earth 5000, Omega Level 2000, Prime Earth, whatever. I couldn't care less. Dude, I saw my mentor, who was close enough to a father figure to me. He died. Not only that, I, as Spider-Man, disintegrated technically died and then reintegrated. Those are two unique experiences you can't just do wishy-washy shit to.
That's right.
And to just say, I'm going to give you these glasses, and the fact that there was no fail-safe within the glasses to say, okay, the primary person who these glasses have been given to, he's relinquished his full control over these glasses. He's now transferring full control to a stranger who's not on my AI list of people I can hand these glasses to or hand power over to. So I have to then default to the next a person on the list who would be Tony Stark's wife, Tony Stark's daughter, or Happy, or even Nick Fury, and no one else.
Willingly?
Yes.
To give it to a random stranger. Even if Spider-Man said, I override yada yada yada, nah, you don't have the authority to do that. You can keep the glasses because it was designated to you. But just in case you felt it was too much to handle, you were not ready, you were not prepared yet, or you didn't feel, you just wanted to take a break from superheroing, just in case. For whatever reason you say no, then I will default back to factory settings, and I'll only be like a freaking Alexa.
Damn.
Turn on the music, turn off the music, turn on the light, turn off the light. So it wasn't healthy, smart, advanced, competent writing to me in any way, shape, or form.
I like this one.
It's not every day you wake up and watch your mentor go through what he went through and die. It's not every day you get disintegrated and you get de-atomatized and re-atomatized. It's not every day you go through that at all. So to say I want to take a break makes more sense, and you keep the glasses. And to say you feel that you're a good judge of character, so you gave the glasses to Mysterio. It shows how poor that decision was, especially after coming off the back of losing Tony Stark and what you went through in Avengers Endgame. A therapist would have told you, dude, don't even make any decisions whatsoever, any major decisions. Even if you want to change your diet, think it through properly. Take a break. Take a break. Just say, yeah, I give full ownership. And for the AI too, who doesn't know who this person is not on the Avengers list from day one. There should have been a primary list of people this thing will default to. Meaning, even if Spider-Man was like, yeah, I override the override and the override and the override. Yeah, that's all cool. That's all gravy, bitch. But I must go to the secondary list of people in command as a backup, as a precursor to say you've relinquished ownership and the rights. But before you can hand this over to anyone else, I will default back to Alexa, play music. Alexa, turn up the light. Alexa, flush the toilet. Meaning the shit goes straight back to Nick Fury, Pepper Potts, Happy, or maybe even Tony Stark's daughter. And if anything hits the fan, then we say Bruce Banner. There's no way on common sense Earth that movie makes sense to me. And people are like, yeah, it's a good movie. Then the story was carried over from part 2 into part 3. That's why I don't acknowledge those two movies at all. Incompetent writing.
He ain't lying.
This thing with Mary Jane and Ned leaves, I thought they were going to leave it alone. He was going to be looking for a job in whatever city he's at. I literally thought it was just going to be his own existence, doing rent with the landlord. They might do a little throwback to Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man. I don't know. But to bring Ned and Mary Jane back.
What does that have to do with it?
No, he's got a point.
So how are you going to then undo the spell?
That's a good question.
And maybe that's where Sadie Sink comes in.
Let me explain.
So I'm assuming that to get Ned and Mary Jane's memory back, Sadie Sink would have to be the one to break the spell or do whatever mind meddling thing. That's the only logical way I can see Peter Parker and Mary Jane getting back together. And also with Sadie Sink's character, if she's really Jean Grey, I hope we're going to get a strong, wise, no fainting, no scat, I can't hold it any longer, Jean Grey. From now on, kill that shit. That shit is dead.
Yes.
Tired.
Yes.
Boring.
Woo!
Old.
Yes.
Sour.
What?
Whack.
Damn.
She can't hold nothing for too long without fainting and calling out Scott.
That boy is good.
If you're going to introduce Sadie Sink as your Jean, that means Scott and all the other X-Men members already exist out there. And for that to be the case, that means you already have your Xavier out there. The Mansion's out there. He's already scouting for different. So who's going to pull her out of this scenario? Like,
don't ask questions.
but this is going to be the only movie that's going to release in terms of the timeline before Doomsday, and if you're introducing Sadie Sink as Jean, if that rumor is true, it'd be stupid to do a whole reset. If the rumors are true, then that means this is Feige's way of saying, here's a little snippet of our new X-Men cast or crew. I don't know. The trailer looks cool, looks mature, jokes here and there. I'm okay with jokes, just no more dumb writing, man. Yeah. And these little shots like this one here, the one before this one, I know there's some of them are like comic book variant covers, but I'm assuming this is like one of those montage scenes where I've been Spider-Man for so long, and because they're all very slow-mo, the slow motion effect, I'm like, yeah, it's like a montage. It's gotta be a montage. Yeah, they look cool though. This one, however, this is the part of the trailer where I thought, okay, you guys are not playing.
That's what I'm talking about.
This is where I felt, okay, this movie is going towards a mature tone. Again, I'm cool with humor. I'm not a person who's against humor. Don't overdo the fucking humor, man. And the writing has to be smart. The last two movies were shit to me. You might love it over the moon. To me, they were shit.
Wow, you are mean.
This too, yo.
You don't understand.
This is looking like it's gonna be peak.
That's right.
Then we get to see full-on Spider-Man, no nanotech, just proper combos. Does he hold back?
This isn't a game.
Or does he go full-on like rage mode? It's just like his God of War mode activated, because this is looking sexy right now. This is looking real sexy.
You ain't lying.
He breaks actually with his web, and I realized, does he have the web shooters on, or is that his organic webbing? Yeah, there's no metal stuff in his wrists in either arm, so that means that must be his organic webbing.
Nice.
I hope we get a Peter Parker who doesn't hold back.
That's right.
I hope this scene is going to be just pure carnage.
Let me hear, yeah.
I wonder, is this a prison cell he's trying to free someone from, or is he put in here? And if he was put in here, then who trapped him in here, or who put him in here? And he did it willingly, and his mask is off as well. So whoever put him in here knows he's Spider-Man, and I mean knows he's Peter Parker. Just about clocked that. So whoever put him in here knows who he is, or because it looks like a prison cell, right? Yeah, it looks like a prison cell. Yeah. Or is that a building? No, this is a prison cell, dude. So he's in prison. There's no one else around. Unless he's looking for someone. But he's down on his knees. He's given up. He's tired. Then his eyes go into supernova mode. And his mask is off. For him to have his mask off, he's been caught and brought in here. Or maybe someone is being, I don't know. Someone's kidnapped and they're using them for ransom. Maybe Mary Jane that leaves. Yeah, the fact that he's got his mask off is interesting to me, because people can see who he is. That's really why he just rages out like, yeah, I'm done with this shit. Nice. Nice, nice. I hope this is not another montage though. I hope this is going to be like, take your time, do the fightings well, like freaking the Raid movies. Just go all in. Don't hold back, go all in. Because everyone keeps saying, well, Spider-Man is holding his punches. All right, cool. If that's the case, then let him let loose, man.
Damn.
I'm surprised I didn't even call it Spider-Man Rebirth.
What do you mean by that?
Because that was a cool voiceover tie-in to then reveal the title Spider-Man Rebirth. Yeah, I don't know how he's going to pull off this one, man. Even writing a note telling them, because how would they buy that? Because the spell has to be really. So what does the spell cover then? Do they remember the blip? Do they remember Thanos? Do they remember the Avengers? Do they know all the other superheroes, and the spell only affects their minds when it comes to Peter Parker / Spider-Man? They know Spider-Man as a character, but the spell erases the knowledge of knowing that Spider-Man is Peter Parker, right? So that means all the experiences they had with Peter Parker is deleted from their psyche. So is that part of the brain, like, is it, if you were to scan the brain, is it black? Or is it just suppressed? Like, is it suppressed in the subconscious?
That's a good question.
Is it deleted? Like, the spell erased that part of the brain? Like that, where the part of the brain that stores that memory in his head and Mary Jane's head, is it deleted? Like, if you were to do a brain scan, do an MRI, they'll be like, yo, something's wrong with both your brains. There's a part of your brain that holds whatever, and it looks funny on the imaging thing.
Damn.
Or is it just that there's a veil of magic covering that part of the brain in both Ned's head and Mary Jane's head? And then it takes Sadie Sink's character, aka Jean, if the rumors are true, to then unlock that part, or to so how does that work then?
Let me explain.
If that's the case, I'm speculating. If that's the case, how does Sadie Sink's powers as a telepath undo a spell that's based on magic? How does telepathy undo magic?
That's a good question.
But if a spell is that powerful to erase a person's not visage, personality from the minds of a number of people, then how can a telepath undo that? Because now I'm just questioning the two. Like, they can't both be the same.
That's right.
Because some spells don't require words. They require hand gestures and whatnot, and elemental manipulation or alteration. So how does Jean Grey undo Doctor Strange's spell if my speculation is correct?
It's a good question.
Yeah, it looks cool. Looks cool. I was okay with seeing the movie before. I was like, yeah, I'm going to see it nonetheless, as long as whatever they do in it is competent. You got Punisher, you got Hulk, potential Hulk, you got potential Jean Grey, you got Scorpion. Then the other two villains they showed with the boomerang guy and the other guy with two pointed things at his feet. I'm assuming that's got to be a montage thing, and I'm okay with that. But it'd be cool to see some fight scenes with those guys. Then you got the people in red cloaks or whatever it is. He's been demasked there, so someone knows who he is. He wasn't shackled up though. That's the thing. In that prison scene, he wasn't shackled up. He's on his knees, tired, defeated. But if he's defeated, why bring the other dudes in red to fight him? What's the point? Why not just shoot him if you want to kill him? You want to humiliate him. You've already taken his mask off. So now you want entertainment by having those guys kick his ass. I don't know. Is there one main villain, or are there multiple villains in this movie? Like, are there multiple main villains? Like, is Kingpin in charge of what's going on, or is it? I've heard Tombstone is in this movie as well. Some people have complained that they don't want this movie to be another Spider-Man movie where there's too many characters. It depends on how they play it. Maybe there could be like a first half where they introduce a few characters and then they deal with it in that first half, and then other new characters the second half they get dealt with. And then maybe there'll be a third half of the movie, obviously, where the other characters that we've dealt with in the first and second half, they were being puppeted by this main character who then gets revealed in the third half of the movie. Then that'd be cool. But whoever they introduce as the main villain, is that going to be like his or her entry and that's it? This is the only time I get to interact with the Spider-Man in this movie, and then onto the next villain of the week or villain of the movie? Or is it a reoccurring thing where they lock up Scorpion, for example, and then they lock up the new villain that's behind the scenes, and then they get to feature them in another Spider-Man movie as well? I don't know, but I'm assuming this is going to be the first of another trilogy of Spider-Man movies to come out in the future. So maybe the villain that they introduced for this movie gets to show up again in the second and third movies.
That's right.
As long as nobody's lying to Spider-Man, or Spider-Man is not giving anybody super glasses to take over the world, I'm gravy. As long as there aren't stupid decisions in the next movies to come, cool. But I still want to know who's in charge of tech, who's in charge of any suit stuff. Or maybe my brain is now saying maybe that's why they're doing the organic webbing thing. Maybe because there's no tech, there's no nano suit anymore. There's no way to upgrade the fluids per se, the web fluids, because that's his thing, isn't it? When he comes across different enemies for the web to be stronger, to be more to last longer in different weather scenarios, he goes behind closed doors and tweaks different cartridges. He swaps them around to use them in accordance with the different enemies he's interacting with. So, but I'm thinking for them to get rid of that, they brought in aspect of the man spider story into this movie to then say he doesn't need the web fluid stuff anymore. So he can, in his own psyche, control the strength of the webs that release from the organic webs from his arms at will. But that's going to be tricky though, because if he's fighting, like, I wonder if they're going to do Sandman again and Hydro Man in the next movies to come, because there's so many other villains they could introduce. But there's Hammerhead, there's Hydro Man or Water Man, whatever he's called. And in the cartoon, he had to change his web fluid to deal with Hydro Man as well. So that's what I'm saying. I feel that whole tweaking and toying around with your web fluid makes sense. But if there's no more tech stuff, because he's washing the freaking suit. So if it gets cut or the suit gets destroyed or he gets beaten up and then the suit gets taken away from him, who does he go to trust to print him a new suit? Does Happy still have the machine that prints new suits? Like, is Tony Stark's tech still out there? Like, where's Pepper Potts, man?
That's a good question.
Who's the one who's going to be in charge of the new suit for the new Avengers? Is it now down to Wakanda, Shuri? I don't know. I'm just curious. Just a few things don't feel right. I'm just trying to figure out how things are going to be like moving forward. Like the practicality of saying, oh yeah, I'm not with Tony Stark anymore. I'm on my own with the tech stuff, so I can't sew a new suit. And then how strong is it? So again, is this still the suit that Tony gave him, or did he make his own suit? And if that's the case, then how strong is the suit? Because if he gets shot, how come the suit doesn't get torn? How come the suit looks perfect every time he puts it on?
Don't ask questions.
Or is he so good at dodging bullets and dodging, you know, knife cuts and boomerang and sharp objects that he's never been cut once?
Does not compute.
That suit should have different patches by now. It should have different color patches.
That's right.
Or does he have multiple suits? That's I just want to know what's happening with the suit stuff.
Get out of here.
Anyway, trailer looks cool.
Woo!
It feels a little more mature this time than the other two rubbish movies that came out.
Damn.
And I'm so looking forward to him just, you know, kicking ultimate ass, no holding back, no pulling your punches nonsense. And I feel that whole prison cell thing with those guys in red is going to be that where we get to see him fully unleashed, especially with the eyes glowing. Yeah, we get to see Spider-Man fully unleashed, and that would be cool.
You don't understand.
But I hope they tackle the Ned Leaves and whatever his name is, Ned and Mary Jane thing properly. Then the X-Men thing with Sadie Sink, aka Jean Grey, if that's the case, boy, I don't know how they're going to deal with that one, man. I don't know how to go, because I don't want to hear no nonsense about multiverse trash.
Nice.
But then again, since this is supposed to be the movie that comes out before it leads into Doomsday, then there might be some multiverse shenanigans. Anyway, peeps, let me know what you feel about the trailer. If you're excited, if you have the same questions that I asked as well. I'm looking forward to seeing it more now than I was before, for sure. For sure. Anyways, peeps, I've of course been your one and only Multipotentialite, Neurodivergent host.
The Kosmic Jedi signing out. Thank you for watching.